Hi, my name is Patrick Reagan. Welcome to the Operating System's Windows configuration, where we discuss the various tools to configure Windows 10 and 11, including Windows settings and control panel. In Part 10, File Explorer Options, Searches, and Indexing discusses the advanced options of File Explorer, how to manage your computer indexes, and how to perform searches with File Explorer. For those who are going to take the A+ exam, there are practice questions toward the end of the video. File Explorer is used to access, organize, and manage files and folders. By modifying the folder options, you can configure how File Explorer and Search work in Windows. To access File Explorer options in Windows 10, you open File Explorer, click the View tab, and click Options, Change Folder and Search Options. Alternatively, you can open the File menu and click Change Folder and Search Options. To access File Explorer options in Windows 11, you open File Explorer, click the ... and click Options. Another way to open File Explorer options for both Windows 10 and 11 is you can also open the control panel, navigate to Appearance and Personalization, and click File Explorer options. The General tab allows you to configure which folder you open first when you open File Explorer in Quick Access or this PC. Specify to open each folder in the same window or its own window where you double-click a folder in File Explorer. You have to perform a single click or a double click to open an item. To show recently used files in Quick Access. To show frequently used folders in Quick Access. To clear your File Explorer history, and to restore defaults. The View tab can be used to apply this view to all folders of the type or reset folders. Configure advanced settings include Always Show Menus, Display the full path in the title bar, Show or Don't Hidden Files, Folders, and Drives, which is the same as clicking the Hidden Items options in the View tab ribbon. Hide empty drives, hide extensions for known file types, which is the same as clicking File Name Extensions in the View tab ribbon. Hide protected operating system files, show drive letters, show encrypted or compressed NTFS files in color, show status bar, show all files in the navigation pane, and show libraries in the navigation pane. With my personal computers and any computers that I'm doing administrative work, I always show the extensions for known file names and show hidden and protected operating system files. The Search tab specifies how Windows Explorer searches and indexes items. You can turn off indexing of file folders for system files. When searching non-indexed locations, you can include system directories and compressed files. You can also specify that it always search file names and contents, which takes longer to perform the more detailed search. Indexing is the process of looking at files, email messages, and other content on your PC and cataloging their information such as the words and metadata in them. When you search your PC after indexing, it looks at the index of terms to find results faster. When you first run indexing, it can take up to a couple hours to complete. Indexing is constantly running in the background as you add and modify data. A search that takes minutes can be reduced to seconds. By default in Windows, all the properties of your files are indexed, including file names and full file paths. For files with text, their contents are indexed to allow you to search for words within the files. Indexing can be configured from Windows Settings, Privacy and Security, Searching Windows. Or you can use Control Panel Indexing options. When you open Searching Windows Settings, you can see how many files are indexed and how many files that need to be indexed. If an indexing occurs when you're on a battery or not, and indexing uses more power as the computer is doing more work. Here's a look at the Windows 11 Searching Windows page. Classic Search looks only at your libraries and desktop and has the most options for those who use Windows Search regularly. Below the Find My Files section, you specify which folders to exclude. You can remove any of the folders in the Exclude Folder section by clicking the vertical ... and clicking Remove. Customized search locations will open the control panel indexing options to configure further. Enhanced search will index your entire computer and use more processing and power. Under File My Files, you can click Choose where your PC will search for files, which will open the control panel indexing. The easiest way to find indexing in the control panel is to either search for it or click the indexing options from one of the icon views. The initial screen shows how many items have been indexed, if items are currently being indexed, and what items are included in the index and which are being excluded. If you recall from earlier videos, the users folders will include users, documents, and desktop folders. If you click Modify, you can select and deselect which folders you want to index. The greater than sign will be used to expand a drive or folder, and the down arrows will be used to collapse a drive or folder. Show all locations will show a little bit more information, but you'll rarely have to use this option. If you click the Advanced button, it will open an Advanced Options dialog box where you can specify if it will index encrypted files, if you want to treat similar words with the diacritics as different words. Diacritics are signs such as accents or cedillas, which when written above or below a letter indicates a difference in pronunciation from the same letter when unmarked or differently marked, such as accent, grave accent, and umlaut. You can also specify the locations where the index will be stored. The default location is /program data /Microsoft. A rule of thumb is that the index will be less than 10% of the size of the index files for normal data files. So you need to make sure you have enough disk space. If you think your indexing is not working correctly or the indexing database has been corrupted, you can click the Rebuild button. Keep in mind that this will recreate the index and will take some time to complete before searches will show all results from the rebuild index. On a typical user's computer, the indexer indexes fewer than 30,000 items. On a power user's computer, the indexer might index up to 300,000 items. If the indexer indexes more than 400,000 items, you may begin to see performance issues. The indexer can index up to 1 million items. If the indexer tries to index beyond that limit, it may fail or cause resource problems on the computer, such as high usage of CPU, memory, or disk space. An iFilter is a plugin that allows Microsoft search engines to index various file formats such as documents, email attachments, database files, audio files, and pictures so that they become more searchable. Without an appropriate iFilter, contents of a file cannot be parsed and indexed by the search engine. Windows already have many iFilters built in, and you can install the Windows TIFF iFilter as the Windows feature. When you install Microsoft Office, the related iFilters are installed. However, you don't have an iFilter for JPEG files. The file types can be used to specify which type of files you want to index or not index, and if you want to index properties only or properties in file content. Notice that you can also add new extensions. However, for it to be truly indexable, you need to add or install the appropriate iFilter. In File Explorer, you would first navigate to the folder you want to search within and click the search field. You should see a list of items from previous searches. Type a character or two, and items from previous searches that match your criteria will appear. Press Enter to see all the search results in the window. Click the correct search results to open the corresponding document or other file. When searching for files and folders, you can also use wildcards such as asterisk and question mark. At the top of the screen, you can click to search all subfolders, or you can click to search the entire computer by clicking this PC. To narrow down your results, you can specify date modified, kind, which is based on the file name extension, size, and other properties. If you click Advanced Options, you can specify to search the following non-indexed locations: file contents, system files, or zipped/compressed folders. When reviewing the results, you can click the View menu tab and specify which layout you want to use, which includes medium icons, small icons, list, details, tiles, and content. You can also sort by one of the columns. If you're in the details column, you can click the column header to sort by that column. You can also add more columns by clicking the Add Columns option or by right-clicking the column header, such as the name or date modified. Question. You're trying to see the properties of a DLL file in the C:\Windows\System32 folder. However, you don't see the file in the System32 folder. What should you do to find the file? Answer. Configure File Explorer options. Question. You have a backup folder located on the C drive and that you don't want to be included in the Windows 11 searches. What should you do? Answer. Modify the indexing options. Question. You right-click a folder and you create a new text file that you call test.txt. However, when you try to copy the file using the following command, it does not copy file not found. Copy test.txt :\. You open the properties of the text file and you see that the file is saved as test.txt.txt. What do you need to do so that the next text file you create, it does not end in txt.txt? Answer. Show the file name extension using File Explorer options. Your results seem incomplete, although your system has no more items to index for your documents in desktop folder and your M drive, which is your home folder. Your user folder and M drive are specified for indexing. What should you do first? Answer. Rebuild the index. Question. You have a computer running Windows 11, which is running on an 8-core processor and 24 gigabytes of RAM. Windows is running from C drive on a 512 gigabyte drive, which has 150 gigabytes free. You have 4 terabyte data drive that has approximately 1.8 terabytes of data consisting of 240,000 files. You want these files to be fully indexed. What would you recommend? Answer. Move the index to another drive, such as the data drive, to make sure you have enough disk space. For more information, visit these sites. In summary, by modifying the folder options, you can configure how File Explorer and Search works in Windows. The File Explorer options can be used to show hidden items, show protected operating system files, and show file name extensions. Indexing is the process of looking at files, email messages, and other content on your PC and cataloging their information, such as the words and metadata in them. Indexing can be configured from Windows settings, privacy and security, searching windows, or you can use the control panel indexing options. In File Explorer, you would first navigate to the folder you want to search within and click the search field. If you think your indexing is not working correctly or the indexing database has become corrupted, you can click the Rebuild button. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be Configuring Windows Part 11 System Properties. Thank you.